Angel Reese thought she could intimidate Caitlin Clark with a confrontation after that third-quarter foul. Instead, she awakened a triple-double monster who proceeded to dismantle her entire team on national television. My goodness gracious! Destroyed the sky in front of a sold-out 17,000+. Fouled Angel Reese. Angel Reese loses their mind, tries to fight Caitlin Clark. It's glorious. The season is back. It is on a triple-double in the first game back. When the dust settled at Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the scoreboard read 93-58 Fever. Reese was looking at a 35-point beatdown, and Clark had just made WNBA history again during the season opener. Talk about instant regret and a plan backfiring in spectacular fashion. Do you think Reese deserves it? Let us know in the comments below. The moment that changed everything started with what looked like a routine basketball play in the third quarter. The Fever were already up by double digits, and everything was clicking for Indiana when Angel Reese got an offensive rebound near the basket after a blatant push to Natasha Howard to secure a position. Caitlin Clark, seeing an easy scoring opportunity developing, made a split-second decision to stop Reese from adding an easy 2 points to Chicago's total. Clark reached in and made contact with Reese's shoulders and upper body, sending her to the floor. Initially, the refs called it a common foul, something that happens dozens of times in any WNBA game. But then the officials gathered to review the play, and suddenly the energy in Gainbridge Fieldhouse shifted. After a lengthy review, the referees upgraded the call to a flagrant one. The crowd's reaction was immediate. Boos filled the arena, as fans felt their star player was being unfairly targeted. Clark, for her part, showed remarkable poise. When asked about it later, she simply explained it was just a good take foul, with nothing malicious intended. Reese's reaction told a completely different story. The moment the call was upgraded, she marched toward Clark with visible frustration written across her face. Her body language screamed confrontation, shoulders squared, jaw tight, eyes locked on Clark. This wasn't just about a foul call. Reese was making a statement that she wouldn't be intimidated by the Indiana Star. Crew Chief Roy Gulbayan later justified the flagrant call in the pool report, stating it was not a legitimate basketball play and involved unnecessary contact. But what happened next showed exactly what kind of team the Fever have become. Aaliyah Boston immediately stepped between Clark and Reese, physically placing herself as a barrier to protect her teammate. Boston's intervention earned her a technical foul, but that moment crystallized something important. This Fever team wasn't just Clark's supporting cast. They were a united front ready to stand together when challenged. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky bench erupted at the confrontation, clearly hoping this moment might throw Clark off her game and shift momentum their way. Players jumped up, coaches clapped, and for a brief moment, you could feel their energy surge as they sensed an opportunity to get back into the game. What actually happened during those tense seconds revealed everything about both players. Clark remained calm, refusing to engage in any back and forth, while Reese seemed determined to make a physical and mental statement. One player was focused on the scoreboard, the other seemed focused on establishing dominance in their personal matchup. This attempt to rattle Clark would prove to be a catastrophic miscalculation by Reese and the Sky. Rather than intimidating the superstar, Reese had unknowingly lit a fuse that would explode in her face over the next 15 minutes of basketball. The confrontation didn't shake Clark, it unleashed her. She came away with 20 points, 4 blocks, that's a career high for her, 2 steals, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds. Who are you, Caitlin Clark? If Angel Reese thought she could intimidate Caitlin Clark, what happened next must have felt like a nightmare unfolding in real time. The confrontation didn't rattle Clark. It transformed her into a basketball force that the Chicago Sky had no answer for. Instead of crumbling under pressure, Clark responded by elevating her game to an entirely new level. The very next possession after the flagrant foul, she calmly dribbled up court, called for a screen, and drained a three-pointer that sent Gainbridge Fieldhouse into a frenzy. With the crowd now fully energized and behind her, Clark orchestrated the Fever offense with surgical precision. She found cutters with no-look passes that seemed impossible. She drove into the lane, drawing defenders before kicking out to open teammates. When the defense sagged off, she punished them with step-back threes that had fans jumping out of their seats. Her stat line began filling up in every category. Clark wasn't just scoring. She was grabbing rebounds over taller players, blocking shots at the rim, jumping passing lanes for steals, and finding teammates for easy baskets. Caitlin Clark is that with revenge and not taking any nets. You understand me? Ha ha ha. Trip dog, Caitlin Clark, but her first game, oh my gosh, a blowout win, ridiculous. The Gainbridge Fieldhouse crowd grew louder with each Clark highlight. Every made basket, every defensive stop, every hustle play fueled the audience into a deafening roar. The energy in the building created a home court advantage that seemed to suffocate the sky with each passing minute. Meanwhile, Reese's body language told the story of growing frustration. Her shoulders slumped after missed shots. Her eyes darted to the bench looking for answers that weren't coming. The confident swagger from earlier had disappeared, replaced by the uncomfortable realization that her confrontation had awakened something in Clark in the fever. Flash, you want to fight? Look at her. Angel Reese pulling the jersey up and everything. She's like, forget basketball. She cussing out her. Oh my gosh. Ha 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 ha. This was nuts. This was a crazy moment in the game. By the fourth quarter, it became clear that Clark wasn't just winning the individual matchup. She was making WNBA history in the process. As she secured her 10th rebound, the arena scoreboard flashed the accomplishment. Triple-double. Clark's final stat line of 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists, plus 4 blocks and 2 steals, marked the first 2010-10 performance in WNBA season opener history. A sophomore, in her first official game after a 7-month-long off-season, responding to confrontation by making history. As Clark's historic performance unfolded, the cameras kept cutting to Reese's increasingly defeated expression, the very definition of instant regret. The player who had tried to establish dominance through intimidation was now watching helplessly as Clark dominated in every facet of the game. While all eyes were on the Clark-Reese rivalry, something even more impressive was happening. The entire Fever roster was systematically dismantling the Chicago Sky. The confrontation didn't just fuel Clark, it transformed the entire Indiana team into a 5-headed monster that the Sky had absolutely no answer for. Well, it is a final against the Chicago Sky, and it was the worst nightmare that the Chicago Sky and Angel Reese could have possibly imagined. Angel Reese, boy, she's A-double class, is she not? Aaliyah Boston, perhaps motivated by her technical foul from defending Clark, played like a woman possessed. She delivered a monster performance with 19 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks. Boston controlled the paint on both ends, swatting away Chicago's attempts at the rim and scoring with ease against a helpless Sky defense. Her physical dominance was total. Reese and the other Chicago bigs couldn't establish any presence inside with Boston patrolling the area. Natasha Howard's Fever debut showcased exactly why Indiana acquired her in the off-season. The veteran forward contributed 15 points with the poise and confidence of someone who's won championships before. Howard's ability to stretch the floor with her shooting created driving lanes for her teammates, while her defensive versatility allowed the Fever to switch everything without missing a beat. Caitlin Clark doing a little bit of everything. With this right here, coming down the court is beauty. Natasha Howard's cutting the rim right there with the little finger roll lay-ins. It is beautiful, beautiful work. Right there, the unexpected X-Factor emerged in Lexi Hull, who nearly notched a double-double off the bench with 9 points and 9 rebounds. Hull, previously known primarily as a situational player, was everywhere, diving for loose balls, hitting corner threes, and grabbing rebounds that should have belonged to taller players. Her energy off the bench sparked several key runs that pushed the lead from comfortable to embarrassing. Meanwhile, Chicago's offensive struggles were painful to watch. The Sky shot an abysmal 29.1% from the field and just 22.2% from three-point range. Open layups rimmed out. Wide-open threes missed everything. Players who normally hit shots in their sleep couldn't buy a basket. The Fever's suffocating defense turned the Sky's offense into a sad highlight reel of bricks and airballs. Even Chicago's supposed strengths disappeared completely. Their highly touted sophomore 6'7" Camila Cardoso was effectively neutralized, finishing with just 4 points on 2 of 9 shooting. Veteran point guard Courtney Vandersloot couldn't generate any offense, turning the ball over 5 times while dishing just 3 assists. Every player Chicago counted on underperformed at the worst possible time. The Indiana Fever faced off against the Chicago Sky in a blowout victory, and I have 3 words. Oh my God. Or now you know. The Fever's complete team performance resulted in their largest season-opening victory in franchise history. A 35-point demolition that left no doubt about which team and which star owned the night. As the final buzzer approached, the contrast couldn't be clearer. Indiana celebrated a historic win, while Chicago faced the harsh reality that their strategy to rattle Clark had backfired catastrophically. The Fever didn't just win a game. They made a statement to the entire WNBA that they aren't just the Caitlin Clark team. The post-game reactions revealed everything about how this rivalry and this night will be remembered in WNBA history. As players headed to microphones and social media lit up, the stark contrast between the Fever and Skycaps couldn't have been more evident. Clark's post-game comments remained measured and focused on team success, never taking personal shots at Reese despite having the perfect opportunity. When asked about the confrontation, Clark simply said, "I'm just playing basketball. That's what I'm here to do." She redirected praise to her teammates, highlighting Boston's defensive dominance and the bench's contributions rather than dwelling on personal accomplishments or the heated moment. Reese's brief, terse response, "Basketball play. Refs got it right. Move on," spoke volumes about her attempt to downplay what had just happened. Her body language during the interview told an even clearer story. Arms crossed, minimal eye contact, clearly wanting to escape the moment as quickly as possible. The player who typically brings energy and emotion to interviews suddenly had nothing to say. Social media exploded with memes and reactions, highlighting the lopsided score, Clark's historic night, and Reese's failed attempt at intimidation. The clip of Reese approaching Clark after the flagrant foul call, immediately followed by Clark's three-pointer on the next possession, went viral within minutes. One particularly popular post juxtaposed Reese's confrontation with the final scoreboard and Clark's historic stat line, captioned simply, "Actions have consequences." The WNBA's marketing team couldn't have scripted a better storyline. Initial ratings reports indicated the game drew the largest opening night viewership in league history, proving this rivalry is exactly what the WNBA needed to capitalize on its growing popularity. The fan and media reactions solidified the Clark-Reese rivalry as the most compelling storyline in women's basketball, with Clark clearly winning round 1, both on the scoreboard and in public perception. What started as Angel Reese trying to intimidate Caitlin Clark ended with Clark making history, the Fever dominating the Sky. When Angel Reese confronted Caitlin Clark after that third-quarter foul, she didn't just awaken a triple-double machine. She cemented her own place on the wrong side of WNBA history. What was supposed to be intimidation turned into motivation, transforming Clark into the exact superstar Reese didn't want to face. As the 2025 season unfolds, this 35-point beatdown serves as both a warning to future opponents and a promise to Fever fans. When you try to rattle Caitlin Clark, you're only setting yourself up for instant regret. The scoreboard doesn't lie. 93-58. Game, set, and match to Clark and the Fever.